Good morning. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now here's Brennan with today's announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, September 26th, and it's a green day. Tomorrow's schedule will be as follows: A, B, D, E, and then C block, followed by advisory meetings, the walk for a healthy community, and ending with pep chapel and the alumni gym. Students should report to their advisory locations after C block tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a SJA Gear Variety Day. The cost is $1, and all funds collected will go towards the Walk for a Healthy Community. This means that if wearing SJA gear and you have paid your dollar, you are welcome to wear Variety Day bottoms. Juniors and seniors, Northeastern University is on a campus visit today. Please see Naviance or Mrs. Labounty for details and to register. Be sure to check in with your teacher before attending. Student government will meet right after school in floor basement. Please see Mr. Ryan with any questions. A reminder that Writer's Block will be on a field trip to Dartmouth College this afternoon, so the club will not be meeting after school. We'll return to regular meetings in Ranger 110 next week. All are welcome. And now, Mr. Camilio's Joke of the Week. Okay. Yesterday, after shopping, I had the slowest, rudest, and most incompetent cashier I've ever had. I guess it's my fault for using self-checkout. Happy birthday today to Cadence Bradley and Memphis Mestine. Happy birthday. Today in sports, we have JV and varsity volleyball at South Burlington at 4:30 and 6. Please dismiss the teams at 1. Thank you and have a great Thursday.
And a few late announcements this morning. First, a thank you to our guidance department for the financial aid information workshop they put together for our seniors. It's really well attended, and we want to thank them for what they did the other night for us. So thank you to guidance. Please make sure you do not leave trash and food debris outside of Fuller after chapel. As you're picking up your bags and your backpacks, some folks are leaving behind waffles and syrup and plates and cups. Please make sure that you pick up your trash so that other folks are not out there needing to do that. Varsity volleyball beat Rice on Tuesday night at home in 3 sets. Thank you to all that were able to come and cheer them on. Congratulations to volleyball. On senior day, boys golf finished in the top 4 spots on its home course Tuesday to beat visiting Middlebury in Lake Region. Will Eaton was the top finisher with a 4 over 40. Oliver Johnson finished tied as runner-up with a 44. Bruno Alvarez tied for third with a 46. And Carlos Sastra finished 4th with a 47. Congratulations to the boys golfers. And varsity field hockey had another great win yesterday versus Harwood. The first goal came off a beautiful corner with a pass from Molly Kimber to Ayla Brown, who put it in the goal. The second goal came from Maggie Langless, who fought to keep the ball in the circle, found some space, and drove the ball into the goal. Unfortunately, the JV team fell to Harwood 3-0, but congratulations to our field hockey teams. And the junior varsity girls soccer team played to a 0-0 tie after taking 23 shots of the goal. The defense line of Sophia Bunnell, Georgia Lemieux, Maya Barney, and Lillian O'Malley played a solid team defense, limiting the BFA shots. Willoughby Heath had 5 saves, and Willa Davis had 4. Great job, girls. So this morning, we will continue with our Social Studies Department speaker series. And so it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Quinn. Mr. Quinn.
Good morning. I'm Mr. Quinn. I teach in the Social Studies Department, and I'm here this morning to talk about a real plague in our democracy, and that is conspiratorial thinking. And before I get started, I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this is the world that you're growing up in, and that this is the task that you have in front of you so early in your lives as citizens. It's much easier for someone older to untangle truth from fiction just because we've had a lot longer to accumulate knowledge. Because we got our start as citizens before journalism broke. And I mean literally broke. 9 out of every 10 jobs in journalism that existed when I was your age no longer exist. There is so much more information available today. It comes faster, and there is, at the same time, so much less expertise than there once was. It's hard to make sense of our world, and it's no wonder that conspiracy theories flourish because of this. Anyone who tells you that this is how politics or democracy or the world have always been doesn't have their feet fully grounded in the past or in the present. Conspiracy theories fulfill 2 really fundamental psychological needs that we as humans have. The first one of those is a sense of control. It may sound counterintuitive to say that imagining a world where, shadowy puppet masters control everything gives us non-puppet masters a sense of control. But these fictions create the illusion of order in a complex world. Let's take inflation, for example. Even let's just look at grocery store prices, right? Everyone here has experienced the shocking increase in prices over the last few years, and it's something that impacts all of our families every single day. And none of us are happy about it. If we decide that someone we don't like did something stupid or evil to cause that, then it's clearly fixable. We just get rid of that stupid and or evil person and voila, everything's fixed. Reality is more complicated. Grocery store prices are so much higher than they once were because of monetary and fiscal policies by the federal government, but also because of supply shocks and low unemployment and a shrinking labor force and avian flu and a war on the other side of the world, and monopolies in the consumer packaged goods sector, and price gouging by supermarkets, and internalizing the externalities of global warming, and at least half a dozen other things that I forgot to mention. It's complicated. True experts will disagree on a whole range of solutions. It's a lot cozier to believe in some sort of conspiracy theory because it feels more fixable to ourselves, to lie to ourselves and say that there's some singular force at play. Conspiracy theories are a contagion. No party and no ideology has a monopoly on conspiracy theories, but that fiction makes us feel like control is possible. Weird things do happen in the world, though. So how do you know whether to believe a conspiracy theory or not when you come across one? I have some guidelines. A long time ago, I took a class from a professor who is definitely the creepiest professor I have ever studied with. Before retiring to lecture college students on his 19 steps for identifying a likely true conspiracy theory, Dr. Anderson had been a CIA agent and a neuroscientist and a political scientist with them. According to him, he'd spent a lot of the 60s and 70s in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. And by the some of you know your history. And after that, by the end of the 1980s, he'd been to most countries in Latin America. If you want to go down a lovely, historically accurate rabbit hole, start with The Legacy of Ashes, A History of the CIA by Timothy Viner. Conspiracy comes from the Latin root spiro spirare, which means to breathe. It shares a root with respiration. It means to breathe together, to literally be so close to another person that you are inhaling what they are exhaling. It's hard to be that close for very long. Here are Dr. Anderson's first 3 and most important guidelines for identifying a likely true conspiracy theory. 1, a small group. 2, strong, long-term connections in that group before the conspiracy theory starts. And 3, a very short time for that conspiracy theory to last, or for conspiracy, to last. For example, if you're going to plot to overthrow a government, you want to do it with a small group of people who you know really well for a really long time. And even so, you don't want that plot to take years. You want it to take months. For an actually historical example, look at the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia over 100 years ago. That fits. Most popular conspiracy theories, though, cannot pass these 3 tests. So why do we continue to spread conspiracy theories? The second fundamental psychological need that conspiracy theories fulfill is connection. In a world where loneliness is epidemic, it makes sense that people would come together online to build a story that makes sense of all of the chaos around us. That's what humans have done since before we've had writing, much less the internet. Almost every single culture on Earth has an ancient story about a flood, an attempt to explain why a devastating flood happened, something that so many of us experienced last summer. It's human to want a simple explanation for the complicated and the devastating and the perplexing. It's also fun to imagine aliens or time travel or secret government plots. After all, these are literally some of the most profitable genres of film and novels. All of us are searching for connection, but there are better things to connect over than conspiracy theories. If you have someone in your life, like I do in mine, who falls into these conspiratorial thinking traps, recognize this. They are searching for connection. Try to help steer them to better points of connection. There are thousands of diverse communities, online and in person, to connect to. Discuss your favorite fantasy novel. Go deep on women's rugby sevens. Experience the joy and crushing disappointment of rooting for Everton Football Club. Take up painting. Build fairy houses, crochet animals. Share the perfect crumb shot of your perfect sourdough bread with other bakers online. Find anything to connect to other humans, whether in person or online. Get obsessed with what you're making with your own hands. Share joy with other humans. One of the deepest uglinesses of modern conspiratorial thinking is that it is so often dehumanizing and moves us further from our neighbors. We can so easily be moved past our own rational thinking and past our empathy to see one another as alien, to catastrophic results. And the irony is that at a fundamental level, we're searching for a sense to try to make sense of the world around us and to connect to one another. Conspiracy theories exploit our real human weaknesses, our desire for control and connection. At the same time, though, they give us the opposite. They make us feel small and powerless and disconnected. Believing in them isolates us from one another. It stunts our full potential as people and weakens our communities. But we do have a defense. It's one another. It's slowing down the stream of information, letting go of our needs to make sense of every single detail of our complex world. And believe me, I personally really recognize how much of a challenge that is. And simply being ourselves, showing up for joy and nerdiness, for silliness and pain, and building a future together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quinn, and thank you to the Social Studies Department who continue with their Thursday series leading up to the election. Thank you again, Mr. Quinn. Now I'm delighted to welcome guests from Mrs. Kendall's Intro to Human Services class. A round of applause for Leah, Maddie, Olivia, and Asa.
Hey everyone.
Oh, hey, what's up?
You wanna know what I've been thinking recently? I've been thinking a lot about this week's Walk for a Healthier Community.
Me too. I know that we will have an amazing food drive going on here at school. I just don't know what to bring.
That's great that you've been putting some thought into this fundraiser and Walk for Awareness. Let's see if we can help you out with some suggestions.
For some healthy snacks, you can bring in things like peanuts, cashews, and almonds. You can also bring in dried fruits, granola bars, grain bars, and whole grain crackers.
Peanut butter and peanut butter alternatives such as almond butter and sunflower butter are also popular donations. Pair those with jelly in plastic containers and you have the perfect sandwich. Other sweet donations could include maple syrup, honey, which are usually found in the same area of the grocery store as peanut butter and jelly.
Breakfast foods and cereals are great donation options, such as oatmeal, pancake mix that just needs water, whole grain cereals, and breakfast drinks.
All pasta is accepted and appreciated, but whole grain, protein, and whole wheat pastas are certainly the healthiest and most filling. To top off the pasta, don't forget the pasta sauce. Another popular dish is macaroni and cheese.
Any type of macaroni and cheese donations are acceptable, but macaroni cups only need water to prepare, while the boxed macaroni and cheese needs milk and butter. Please remember that the fewer additional ingredients of food requires, the better.
Look at all these food donation options. Beans and brown rice are both healthy for you. You can always bring in some dried spices to add some real depth to a dish. Other great items could include cooking oil and dried milk.
Canned goods are always a big hit and have a really long shelf lives, making them the perfect food donation item. Canned goods that are always needed at the food shelf include all kinds of canned vegetables and canned fruits, plastic jars of applesauce, stews, chili, canned meats, canned meats and meals. Canned meat examples are tuna fish, canned ham, and canned chicken.
Here we have some coffees and variety of instant drink mixes, like hot chocolate, iced tea, and Gatorade. These are good options because all you have to do is add water.
If your advisory would like to focus more on the holiday season, putting together a Thanksgiving basket may be of interest to your group.
A reusable grocery bag would be the perfect tote to hold all of your Thanksgiving treats, such as instant mashed potatoes and stuffing, cans of cranberry sauce and vegetables, cans of pie filling and box crust, and whatever shelf-stable items you'd want to see on the Thanksgiving table.
With all of this being said, we would ask that you please not bring in food in a glass container, no homemade goods, nothing that needs refrigeration, no candy or chips, no fresh produce, and certainly no food that has expired.
Great reminder. We also want to put out a challenge for all the advisories. The advisory that brings in the most food for each grade will win an advisory treat from the Intro to Human Services class. Please bring in non-perishable items to your advisory so that your advisor can keep track of your group's donations.
If you would rather bring in money, we will also be rewarding the advisory that brings in the most money with an advisory treat.
We know that you will all do your part in helping our local food shelter.
Thank you.
This is really fun.
And so, tomorrow's the Walk for a Healthy Community. Whether your advisory group wants to participate in that contest or not, it's good to do good, and I would offer you that. Tomorrow is an abdeck schedule, so you'll report directly to A block, and then after C block, you're going to go directly to your advisory. Please remember that tomorrow during the walk, the focus is on community, so make sure that your own behavior and comportment reflects that. I'm so excited to share tomorrow with you and the next few weeks as well. It's a little rainy, so I will ask that you yourselves are the sunshine today, and with that, faculty.